As always, Raymond says good morning for all the rest of us. Guys, let's begin by saying a happy birthday to Philip Namfuri of Joy Business.
Happy birthday, Peter Namfuri's son.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that as well. He's that as well. But he's also our analyst and presenter here at Joy Business. Helps us a lot here on the Super Morning Show team. He's an amazing guy.
He's a very tall human being.
Very, very tall. May your years be as long as your height.
Yeah, he won genetic lottery.
Well, you can say that. But it doesn't mean short people have lost out in any way.
I'm not saying so.
Yes. I hear that there's a certain height that is very presidential nowadays. I will not.
Yeah, it's the opposite of tall.
I haven't said anything, but I also want to wish a happy birthday to Madam Mary Achamfo Yeboah, formerly of Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Okay,
it's your birthday. She's the mother of Dr. Irajwa, who was helping us out during the breast cancer awareness month.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. So, good morning, Dr. Irajwa Oswan Medical Center. Yes. Good morning, Madam Mary Achamfo Yeboah. Live to be 99.7 and beyond. Let's get to the front page, shall we?
The Herald is reported this morning. Maslock Deputy CEO refutes fraud scandal. Court demands vital document from COCOBOD in opening trial, and PMMC boss still under pressure to resign, accused of hiring unregistered security firm. Those are the stories on the front page. But armed soldiers and police officers kill youth in demo as government fails to pay allowance for 6 months.
On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, big boost for local coins as government grants 237 million Ghana cedi stimulus package to 16 businesses. Ghana-Togo maritime boundary disputes in limbo, no consensus after 3 rounds of negotiations. NDC flag bearership nomination closes. 5 aspirants pick forms. Ban on small-scale mining to be lifted next week. 2 nabbed for vandalizing ECG transformer. And on the back page of the Ghanaian Times, Ghana set to lose $120 million by the end of the year.
Now, the Daily Statesman has a story on the 237 million for industry, and there's one issue know about too. NPP tradition memorializes Chief Dombo, and this is SD Dombo. If you've heard the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition, this is the SD Dombo in that particular coinage, and tomorrow is when it's going to happen, and Shatawale won't die. This according to Lawrence Tete. The pastor is convinced the man will live longer than usual. And then Bagbin considers court action against NDC. That's also the next story on the front.
I was just going to say that's good news for the SM family, but it's not the Bagbin story. It's the other one. Anyway.
On the front page of the New Crusading Guide, Ghana Health Service boss defense drones for medical supplies. Says it's going to be 24-hour service, advanced healthcare supply chain in the world. Massive boost for local businesses as Akufo-Addo inspects projects in Accra, and there's a story about the Queen Mother in Kwabenya as well on the front page of the New Crusading Guide.
NDC can't win with Mahama in 2020. This according to Bagbin. So the front page of the Ghanaian Observer. The other story is Akufo-Addo fires NDC. That's also there with Healthlife boss hailing the President of the Republic of Ghana.
On the front page of the Chronicle, government not buying zipline drones. That's according to Insia Asare. Rollins cadre goes ballistic. NDC is flaunting filthy wealth. NPP to immortalize Dombo and stop yapping and open your eyes. That's according to President Nana Akufo-Addo.
Now, the Daily Guide is reporting this morning that 3 sisters die in crash, and there's also another story about the 420,000 NDC race, 5 pick forms, 8 fail, and the pictures of those who are in, those who are out boldly on the front page of the Daily Guide this morning.
And we'll be telling you exactly who is in and who is out in a moment. But on
the front page of the Today newspaper, Mahama can't win power. That's according to Bagbin. And weeds take over Awashi Road.
Now, the Finder is reporting this morning 11.2 million fraud case, 8 suspects granted bail, and you know this is the Consolidated Bank business, right? NLC orders training college teachers back to the classroom, and the drone story is here together with the aspirant story too. Those are the stories the Finder is reporting this morning.
The Daily Graphic on the back page, work progresses on footbridges on Medina Eburi Highway. Japanese government donates vehicles, items to Ministry of Health to enhance health delivery. On the front page, chainsaw operator wins first graphic death tracker home program. We brought you that yesterday on the drive. 67 million Ghana cedis released for NAPCO's stipends. Call of strike. Labour Commission orders striking teachers. That's the Daily Graphic.
Raymond, before you bring us our first story, let's remind ourselves of one of the most memorable sound bites of 2016.
We like it. We picked it. It makes us happy.
Simple as that.
Yes, we liked it, we picked it, it makes us happy, everything is okay. But
Right.
that has been reversed. We know that for a fact. Yesterday we brought you the news that the Electoral Commission and internal memo, the chairperson to the other commissioners, to directors of elections, to district directors, and all the relevant people within the EC's hierarchy have been informed that they have gone back, Sankofa, to the original logo, the one with the coat of arms, the one with the ballot box, with somebody casting a vote of a sort. That, they say, represents the fairness, the integrity, and all the wonderful virtues that the Electoral Commission had prior to the coming into being of Charlotte Osoro's administration and the change that happened along the line. You do recall that it became, in April 2016, a huge concern for many that we were spending money meant for elections and these related activities on something that the EC called rebranding. The rebranding, of course, journalists demanded to know what really was the cost involved, and Mrs. Osei was pretty obvious in her mind that it was not the most important issue at the time. The most important issue is that the EC then had changed what ought to be the case at the time, that people were having problems with it, and that the EC has moved into a new, improved system, that the EC was actually now delivering services. Remember that certain positions were even changed. So finance and administration along the line became corporate services or whatever within the rank of the EC, and other things were remodeled, fresh spokespersons were brought on board, and others were pushed into different positions. She reordered the structure of the EC, posting people to different ends. But it looks like the undoing time is here, and the new commission is of the opinion that we need to go back.
And let's hear why the new commission wants to go back.
When we assumed office on August 1st, there are 4 new commissioners that joined the 3 commissioners, several meetings here and there, and we came to a consensus that we should restore the old logo. And so the chair had to write an internal memo to that effect.
What was wrong with the new one introduced by Charlotte Osei?
I think in the meetings of the commission, it was decided that the one we have introduced now is more representative of the work of the Electoral Commission rather than the one which was introduced by Madame Charlotte Osei and her team.
So Daryl asked a very important question this morning. Does it really matter for us to change the logo back? And so we are putting that to listeners today. Send us in a message on 0244 340437, and we'll also be going back to the Electoral Commission to ask this question. Also, you know, the change of the logo was part of the 5-year strategic plan for the Electoral Commission. We would also like to find out what has happened to that 5-year plan, if it's still being implemented or that has been changed as well.
The 22-pointer reforms that was also introduced by the Charlotte Osei administration,
that was part of the 5.
Was it more likely going to have the impact too in this case? Yeah.
So those are some of the questions we'll be dealing with today on the Super Morning Show. But be a part of that conversation. It involves you. Anymore, let's move on and speak about drones delivering medical logistics.
Yes, so we know that the service agreement for the use of drones to distribute apparently medicine to remote areas of the country, well, it has generated a lot of disagreements between the majority and the minority. Now, the minority has been speaking, Mr. Haruna Idrisu. He says that the cost is too high, it's too exorbitant. The use of drones is not necessary now because remote areas actually only need health facilities and medical officers. So it's become an argument of cost and necessity. The majority are saying that the state will not bear any cost as corporate bodies have agreed to fund this project. And so the issue of cost is not a problem. The other thing that the minority is raising is why has the project been given in contract to, so the company is called Zipline, on a sole sourcing basis when a value audit has not been conducted. So they're also questioning the sole sourcing aspect of the contracts. The majority is saying that the cost is within range. They're also saying that the use of drones will ensure the efficiency in the distribution of essential drugs and blood to remote areas. Now, a few details about this. According to the contracts, the ministry will only pay when Zipline succeeds in setting up 4 distribution centers and meets the performance and specification. This contract will run for 4 years at a cost of $88,000 per distribution center per month. The GNPC will be funding operational costs and Zipline will be funding infrastructure. Mr. Atufosin has been speaking as well. He is saying that it's actually not going to cost $88,000. It's going to cost $145,000 per month per distribution center. And also, he feels that Zipline will be making too much of a profit. They're investing $1 million. The government is raising $1.7 million. They'll make a profit of over 2,000%. And at the end of the 4 years, they will still own the equipment. That is Zipline. There will not have been a transference to the government. And so the approval has been deferred for now, I guess, whilst they still go through the details and the ramifications of
Yes,
the
so you take a bite of the cherry this morning listening to us. You'll hear both sides of the arguments this morning on the Super Morning Show so that you can make an informed decision. But of course, let us know if you have any questions about the drone delivery system, what you want to know about it, and we'll get to the officials to answer them for you. 0244 340437 at Joy997 FM on Twitter, Joy 99.7 FM on Facebook. Raymond, which 5 picked, which A's did not?
Now, we understand that 5 out of the 13, sometimes 12, if you want to consider others too, presidential aspirants in the NDC's quest, and those who want to lead the party into 2020.
Yep.
We know John Dramani Mahama, the former president, actually picked a long time ago, not himself, but the Asawasi constituency in the Ashanti region, where Muttaka Mubarak is actually still the member of parliament.
So to be
I'm not removing
specific,
him.
so
Yeah.
to be specific, when they got to the office, Johnson Esedun Ketia told them that they cannot pick the forms in the name of the Asawasi constituency.
Yes.
That would be wrong.
Yeah, of course.
So
as
they
individuals.
then said that, okay, we are coming as individuals. So I think it's individual members of the party coming from the Asawasi constituency.
Then Joshua Alabi also had a team picking for him, the former UPSA vice chancellor. Then the former NHIA boss, Sylvester Mensah, also actually got a team doing so. But a 9 set of people who are it's onion sellers, right? They are the ones who picked out the form for my good friend Stephen Atubiga. And in the very last minute, with like 10 minutes to go for the timing given them to expire, then second deputy speaker and former minority and majority leader Alban SK Bagbin also had his team pick up a form for him. It was controversial because along that line it was unclear whether or not, because there were other reports that he didn't ask the people to go pick up.
He actually said he didn't ask them to pick
Do you know why this is important? Because Bagbin is one of the people, the 8 who are complaining to the Council of Elders of the party, insisting that their information suggests they were not consulted, insisting that the current leadership, some of the people who are in the NDC's leadership today, are very compromised, so they ought to step aside from this. And they are insisting that what is the haste in making sure that you just use 10 days to do all of this within the periods required. So the rest, every other name you remember, apart from the ones I've mentioned, including Bill Gabra, who is insisting that the right thing ought to be done, and that if the NDC elders even decide not to do the right thing, he will take the right instructions.
Let's go through the 5 again.
Yes, the 5 are former President Mahama, Sylvester Mensah, Joshua Alabi, and Atubiga Stephen, and also Alban SK Bagbin, the
That
honorable.
is actually a bone of contention because he told Evans on Newsnight last night that he didn't ask them to, even though the ones who went to pick the forms told our reporters that they have the blessing of Mr. Alban Bagbin. That voice was played for him and said that, well, in spite of what that man said, he still did not ask them to. Evans asked him an interesting question. Are you going to write to the party to say they should disregard that letter coming? He said, well, the fact that I have written a petition means that I am not in support of that letter.
Okay.
Of those forms that have been picked. So maybe, by his own words, we should disregard the facts that forms have been picked on his behalf.
You remember, this sounds looks like the Kwesi Bocho episode where some people picked up national chair.
And he actually referred to that. He actually referred to that incident, and when he was explaining. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days. A lot of major names, Kojo Bonsu, Spio Gabra, name them. Gusitano,
and also
Hagen.
Yes, there are also others, including Elikplim Agbemava, and there's David Doche Kwame Kuoda, and also, of course, you mentioned Kojo Bonsu. George Boati was also at the party's office, seeking among other things to see whether he can pick out. Remember George Boati, right?
Yes. Interesting. So, so much more coming up. We will be keeping our eye on that. Let's move from the NDC, Raymond, very quickly, and talk about Ghana losing $120 million anymore.
Okay, so this is to cybercrime, and I remember that I think I did the story a few months ago. So Mr. Ambrose Derry has been speaking, and he's saying that cybercrime has gotten really bad. As at August, which is when we did the story for the first time, we had lost $97 million. That was That was up till August. He said this at the 5th African Group meeting on cyber crimes for heads of units in Accra yesterday. So apparently, cybercrime is costing the whole world $609 billion. So that's a lot of money that cybercrime is costing the world. The Minister of Communication has been speaking as well, and she is saying that with the introduction of the paperless port units, mobile money interoperability, and e-procurement systems and other stuff, they're hoping that it will bring and how much we're losing through cybercrime, as well as security and safety with online banking, mobile banking, and other aspects like that. The National Cybersecurity Center is going to coordinate cybersecurity incidents both in government and with the private sector. So they're hoping that next year the loss will not be as much.
You know, in the face of the fourth digital revolution, it's important that we take another look at security. I remember speaking to the CEO of Blue Space, Samuel Amano, who was talking about how we have so many different layers of security in our homes, but we don't look at those same layers of security. So, for instance, you have email passing through your phone and on your PC. You have a password on your PC, but you may not have a password on your phone. And so we need to be just as careful. There are about 20.8 billion different things which will be lost. $8 trillion, will be lost to cybercrime by 2020. 20.8 billion different things, data points of information to secure. So we need to begin rethinking the issue of security in the digital space as we move into the fourth industrial revolution. But anyway, I'll stay with you, because there's been a shooting at La Pleasure Beach.
Yes, so there's two different aspects to this story, or two narrations when it comes to this story. So apparently, a policeman went to the Labadi Pleasure Beach with a couple of his friends. The bill came up to 173 cedis. He paid 35 cedis and refused to pay the 138 that was left. When he was leaving the spot, the waitress came to demand for the rest of the money. He felt offended because he was being accosted in the presence of two ladies. He pulled a pistol and threatened to shoot the waitress. Now, it is alleged that he actually fired shots, and then there was a whole scene at the beach. That's one side of the story. The PRO for the Accra Regional Police Command, Mrs. Efia Tenge, has been speaking. She said that's not what happened. What actually happened is that these ladies and a gentleman went ahead of Mr. Azantilo, that's the name of the police officer, and they had eaten and spent money, and then he came later, added to the bill. Now, apparently his bill was the 35 cedis. He paid that. When he was leaving, the waitress asked him to pay the rest of the money. He said that it was not his responsibility, and the waitress began to make noise, and so the crowd began to gather. Now, to disperse the crowd, he fired a warning shot. So this is the report from the PRO. This is the report from the PRO of Mrs. Efia Tenge. That it was actually a warning shot to disperse the crowd, so that it doesn't kind of get crazy. But then there's the other side, which also said that he just fired it to sort of intimidate the waitress because he didn't want to pay his bill.
Were they indoors? Is this?
No, they were outside.
Okay.
They were outside. You know, they were at the beach, so there are a lot of chairs and stuff. So they were outside. That's how come. So it's two things. That's how come he fired, well, supposedly the warning shot, so that too many people don't gather, and then it becomes a mob justice situation. Or he fired it, and then now everybody was scared because I mean, yeah.
So you can make up your mind as to whether or not Madam
But it's been investigated.
Yeah, but it's been investigated, but she has an explanation for it already. That
Yes.
exonerates the police officer.
The police officer.
So
yes.
is that the position that they're beginning the investigation from?
Was the police officer on duty?
No, he wasn't.
So he's carrying a live ammunition with him,
Yes.
and he's not on duty,
No.
and he can use it whenever he wants because the presumption is that he can fire to not pay money that he's supposed to pay or something.
Or to
Because
avert
having
mob
live
justice.
ammunition whilst eating
No,
in a
but
restaurant.
I have not seen any groupie chase a police officer, go trying to kill the police officer because he failed to pay for food that he's eating before. Have you seen one before? At least they'll compel you to work for the restaurant. This is a very strange occurrence in this case.
All right then. So we are moving online now, and the online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest. Goyle, good energy, and download the Safe Doctor app now from Google Play. Safe Doctor is the future of better medical care. Now the rewards are raining at Goyle's Ifie promotions. Do you buy fuel as Goyle? Hurry and do so, because in the month of November alone, 720 of our customers have received their ultimate rewards from your favorite CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year, GOIL. Adepa Ofia, Oye. George Crying of Ofanko has received 1,000 cedis worth of fuel on his Go card for the month of November and a weekend hotel stay for 2. Many others were rewarded with 1,000 cedis worth of fuel for accruing the highest points. So collect your scratch card anytime you buy GOIL fuel, 80 cedis and above. Dial star 161 star 4645 hash and follow the steps. Your loyalty rewards will await you at the end of the month if you buy more fuel and accrue more points. GOIL Ifie Nifie promo runs till January 2019. GOIL Good Energy GOIL Yenara Yedia. Now this festive season, Zenith Bank is offering you the opportunity to become part of its big, wonderful family. Visit any Zenith Bank branch nationwide during the first 2 weeks in December and let our able team assist you choose from an array of products and services that definitely cater to your unique banking needs. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Whether you're an individual, an SME or a corporate entity at Zenith Bank, there's something for everyone. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. I'm going to start from myjoyonline.com. Health is not politics. GHS mounts defense for drone health service delivery. We'll be hearing Dr. Anthony Siansari on the show today. Cancer Research UK appoints Rita Akushi as new CFO. Congratulations to Rita Akushi on that new appointment. You need more grace to work. May God give you that. AdomOnline.com says a group of angry youth of Agna Dietu in the Agna East districts of the Central Region are threatening to lynch a teacher for allegedly sleeping with a married woman. That's very, very worrying there. The BBC.com also says Kenya hires foreign lawyer to fight corruption. You want to get more details of that on the BBC.com. But let's go and hear the BBC News at 7. It's coming up right after this.
Life before Interplast in Green Irrigation System.